Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, today we are going to discuss the probability. So, when we say probability, it's the possible outcome of an event. No? So, it usually denotes as a percentage, a decimal number, or a fraction. So, it depends on the problem. Okay? So, in line with the probability topic, so itatakal natin yung tinatawag natin na sample space. No? So, a sample space, base sa inyong libro, no? So, page 281. So, it is a set of all possible outcomes, no? For example, how many possible outcomes are there if you combine A, B, C, and D into two letters? Okay? So, yung sample space natin doon is yung mga possible outcomes, total possible outcomes. Okay? So, experiment, okay, kung ano yung ating problem, no? Kung ano yung ginawa natin. Okay? So, event, it is where the experiment happens, no? Now, the formula for the probability is P of E is equal to number of favorable outcome of an event, okay, over the total number of outcome. Okay? So, for the formula, we have number of favorable outcome or yung hinahanap mo lang. You know? For example, how many possible outcomes are there? If a family has 3 children, okay, find the probability of having 3 boys. So, ilan yung mga probability na magkakaroon ng 3 boys sa isang family of 3. So, that is the number of favorable outcome. Okay? And then, the total number of outcome naman, ito yung total or ito yung tinatawag natin na sample space. Okay? Yung a set of all possible outcomes. Yung total niya. For example, merong 8 possible outcomes, no? Na sa family of 3. Okay? So, we have 8 possible outcomes. So, ito yung ilalagay mo dito. Okay. So, let's have an example. So, question is, merong isang pamilya na may 3 anak. So, ilang yung probability na sa 3 pamilya na yun, sa 3 anak na yun, merong 3 lalaki. Okay? At saka 2 babae. At saka 1 lalaki. Okay? So, using the what we call the family tree or tree diagram, i-identify natin yung mga possible outcomes, no? So we have the first child. Next is the second child. Next is the third child. Okay. So for the first child, there is a possibility na sa first child natin is boy or girl. Okay? Wala nang ibang possibility, no? Hindi pwedeng maging bakla yan. Or hindi pwedeng maging tomboy yan. Or hindi pwedeng maging transgender yan. Boy and girl na talaga. Okay? Next, sa second child naman, yung kasarian yung sinasabi natin dito. Okay, so sa second child naman is pwedeng sa first child mo is boy, sa second child meron namang dalawang possibility, which is boy or a girl. Okay? Next, for the girl naman, first child mo is girl. Yung second child mo, possible outcome niya is boy or girl. Next, sa third child, so meaning, sa first child mo, boy. Sa second child mo, boy pa din. Now, sa third child, there's a possibility na yung anak mo or yung anak ng family na yun is boy or girl. Okay? Same as true dito. Boy or girl. For girls, for first child is girl, second child is boy. So, boy, girl pa rin ang possibility. Next, boy, girl. Okay. So, let us study the outcome. Okay. So, first child is boy, boy, boy. Ito, boy, boy, boy. Next is boy, boy, girl. Or B, B, G. Next is boy, girl, boy. Or B, G, B. Next, boy, girl, girl. Or B, G, G. Next is girl, boy, boy. Girl, boy, girl. Girl, girl, boy. And girl, girl, girl. Now, that is all the sample space or the total number of possible outcomes. Now, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, we have 8 outcomes. Meaning, the total number of outcomes mo sa iyong formula is 8. Okay? Next, number of favorable outcome. So, sa letter A, hinahanap dito yung tatlong lalaki, 3 boys. So, in the 8 outcomes, ilan lang yung may tatlong boys, no? Isa, ito, boy, boy, boy. Yan. Meron pa ba? Boy, boy, girl, may girl siya. Boy, girl, boy. Boy, girl, girl, hindi pwede. Girl, boy, boy, hindi rin pwede. Girl, boy, girl, hindi rin. Girl, girl, boy, hindi rin. At mas lalong hindi, girl, girl, girl. Kasi nga, tatlong lalaki lang yung hinahanap natin. So, meron ka lang ng isang possible outcome. So, number of favorable outcome mo dito, okay, number of favorable outcome mo is, okay, possibility of 3 boys. Okay, boy, yan ang boy. So, number of favorable outcome mo is 1. Bakit? Kasi nga, isa lang yung boy, boy, boy dito na combination. So, 1 over the total number of outcomes na 8. So, your probability of having 3 boys in children is 1 over 8. Okay? So, 1 over 8, in percentage or in decimal, we have 0.125. Or, in decimal, we have the 12.5% of having 3 boys sa tatlong children. Okay? Next, we have letter B. Sabi dito, 2 girls and 1 boy. So, 2G and 1 boy. So, the probability of having 2 girls and 1 boys, so, hanapin natin kung saan merong 2 girls at saan merong, kung saan merong 2 girls at saka 1 boy. So, here, boy, boy, girl, 2 lalaki, 1 babae, hindi pwede. Dito, boy, girl, boy, hindi rin pwede. Boy, girl, girl, 2 babae at saka 1 lalaki. So, pwede yan. Next, hindi rin pwede. Ito, 2 babae at saka 1 lalaki. Pwede yan. Next, girl, girl, boy. Pwede din to. Okay? Girl, 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 hindi na pwede. So, meaning, ilan yung mga possible number of favorable outcomes natin? So, we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So, lagay natin dito is 3 over 8. Okay? So, si 3 over 8 magiging, or in decimal number, we have 0.375. Okay? Or, in percentage, you have a possibility of having 2 girls and 1 boy sa tatlong children na to is 37.5%. Okay? Yan lang yung percentage na makakuha ka ng 2 girls and 1 boy sa tatlong children sa isang pamilya. Okay? So, that is how you find the probability of a certain event using the formula. Probability is equal to number of favorable outcome divided by the total number of outcomes. Okay, so our next topic is all about odds. So, ano tong odds na to? So, usually, maririnig natin to in a betting game, no? Or sinasabi natin, what are the odds? Yun yung tinatawag natin. What are the odds? No? It is the odds of an event occurring in the ratio of a number of favorable outcomes to the number of unfavorable outcomes. Okay? So, meaning, ilang porsyento or in a fraction, no? In how many odds yung possibility na mananalo ka or makukuha yung number mo, for example, no? Or mapipili ka sa isang audition, for example. Okay. For example, we have a box contains 5 blue marbles, 4 red marbles, and 2 white marbles. Find the odds of choosing A, blue marbles, or B, a red marbles. So, yung formula pala sang odds, that is equal to number of favorable outcome divided by number of unfavorable outcome. Okay. So, meaning, yung possible outcome mo, tawag na to, i-differentiate sa number nung hindi mo outcome, okay, or the unfavorable outcome mo. Okay, so the question is, yung kanina, meron tayong 5 blue marbles, 4 red marbles, and then 2 white marbles. Okay. Yan. So, hinahanap lang natin is yung kung ilang odds na makakuha tayo ng blue marbles at saka red marbles. So, sa letter A, since there are yung hinahanap natin dito is blue marble. So, ilan ba yung blue marbles natin? So, 5. Okay? So, may 5 favorable outcomes ka. Okay? So, blue. Okay? So, pwede. Okay? Medyo mingay dito. Okay, so, yung number of unfavorable outcome naman, okay? So, since there are 4 reds and 2 whites, pwede na ito yung mabunot mo, which is hindi mo gusto kasi nga yung gusto mo is 5 blue marbles or blue marble lang talaga, no? So possibly na mabubunot mo to. So how many possibles are there? So ang gagawin mo lang is to add these two. So 4 red plus 2 white, we have 6, and you have an odd of 5/6. Okay. So in ratio, we have 5 is to 6. 5, which is the possibility of getting a blue marble, and 6, which is the possibility of not getting blue marbles. Kasama na dyan yung red natin at saka white. Next, red marbles naman. Okay? So, sa red marbles, ilan yung favorable outcome natin? So, since dito, 4 lang yung red, meaning, we have 4. That is a 4 favorable outcome. And next, sa ilalim naman, the unfavorable outcome. So, ang gagawin mo, i-add mo lang tong dalawang to. So, we have 5 plus 2. We have 7. Okay? So, you have an odd of choosing a red marble, which is 4 over 7. Or, in ratio form, we have 4 is to 7. So, yung sa mga hindi nakakaalam, itong dalawang tuldok na to is tinatawag na is 2. Okay? Or pag pronounce yan is 2. 4 is to 7, 5 is to 4. Hindi yan sa orasan. Okay? So, ito yung pag-denote natin sa odds. Okay? Okay. So, let's have another example. So, for example, merong niroll na 5. Isang fair 6-sided die. Okay, pag sinabi natin fair 6-sided die, equal yung lahat ng sides, and then all the sides has its number from 1 to 6, which is a typical die. Okay, so the problem here is odd of getting that the number is even. Okay, so yung add natin dito is yung number daw na mag-roll is even. So, yung add natin is even. Okay. So, ilang even ba yung nasa 6-sided die? We have 2, 4, and 6. We have 3. Okay? And then, that is your favorable outcome. That is the possibility of getting an even number. Now, the question is, how many possibility of getting an odd number? Okay? Kasi yung kabaliktaran ng even is odd. So, ilang possibilities are there? So, what are we going to do is to count the odd numbers on the die. So, we have 1, 3, and 5. Okay? How many? 3. So, that is your answer. Or 3 over 3. Or simply, 1 is to 1 ratio. 50-50. 50% possibility na makakuha ka ng odd number, and 50% na makakuha ka ng even numbers. Now, next question is the probability. Okay? The probability that the number is even, wag na to. Divisible by 3. Yan lang muna. Okay. So, what is the difference between odd and probability? So, si odd, yung formula niya is different from kay probability. So, kay probability, number of possible outcomes over the total number of outcomes. Which is kay odd naman is number of favorable outcome and over number of unfavorable outcome. Okay. Let's answer letter I. Okay, number 1, even numbers. So, probability of the number of being even sa ating die. Sa die pa rin tayo, ha? So, probability of getting an even number is how many possible outcomes are there? That is 3. How many possible outcomes are there in rolling a die? That is 6, right? So, there's a possibility of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, in total, all in all, we have 6 possible outcomes. So, a total pala, 6 total possible outcomes. The question here is, ilan yung even numbers? So, yung even number dito is 2, 4, and 6. So, we have 3 over 6 or 50% or 0.5 in decimal numbers. So, kagaya nito, no? Same question, add numbers, even numbers pala. How many adds are there na makukuha mo is even number? So here, makikita nyo, iba, no? Iba yung mga answers nila. Dito, 3 over 3 and 3 over 6. Which is weird kasi nga, dito, even numbers yung hinahanap. Dito, even numbers din yung hinahanap. At sa tingin natin, no, medyo pareho naman yung formula niya. Pero hindi. Dito siya umiiba sa ilalim. Kasi nga, dito sa add numbers, ina-add mo lang yung mga sobra. No? Kinuha mo lang yung kailangan mo, and then, sa ilalim, in-add mo lang yung sobra. Pero dito naman, sa past probability, sinabay mo lahat. No? Sinabay mo lahat, sabay ng number, nung gusto mong kunin, at saka, sabay nung naiwan. So, 3 over 6, which is 50%. Okay? Now, number 2, divisible by 3. Okay, when we say divisible by 3, pwede siya ma-divide by 3 and the answer is whole number. Si 1, divisible by 3? Hindi. 1 over 3 yan. Si 2, hindi pa rin. Si 3, yes. So, pwede to. Next, si 4, hindi pwede. Si 5, hindi pwede. Si 6, yes, pwede. So, meaning, we have 2 over the total number of outcomes is 6. Or 1/3. Yan. So, si 1/3, ilang percent pa yan? So, 1/3 is equal to 0.33. Or 33.33%. Yan. So, that is how you find or solve the odds and the probability of a certain event. So, tingnan natin yung difference ng odds at saka probability using the Venn diagram. So, kung sino man yung hindi familiar or sino man yung hindi familiar sa Venn diagram natin, yung Venn diagram natin is the two circles combining with each other with a common side and mayroon dalawang side na separate. So, ilagay natin dito is odds and this is the probability or P of E. Okay? So, ilagay natin dito sa kabila sa separate sides is the difference between them. And then here is the commonality between odds and probability. Now, ano yung mga difference nila? So dito sa odds is ratio. Okay. Dito naman sa probability is percentage. And then for the probability, nilalagay natin or the total number of outcome. Yan. Tandaan nyo yan. The percentage and the total number of outcome, yan yung pinagkaiba ng probability sa odds. So, sa odds naman is the ratio And aside sa ratio, so nalalagay natin dito is the unfavorable outcome. Yan. So yung pag sinabi natin unfavorable outcome, yung mga outcome na hindi mo gusto makuha. Yan, for example. And then sa commonalities naman nila is the possibilities. Okay? Thank you, sir. So, pag sinabi natin possibilities, no, yung mga posibleng mangyari, no, or the percentage of, or the outcomes of an event. Parang ganun. And then, pwede rin na ginagamit dito sa betting, no? In betting. So, marami pang mga pwede natin gamitin. Pwede natin gawin or mga examples ng mga commonalities ng odds at saka probability. So, iba yung odd, iba rin yung odds. Okay? Yung odd na ODD, that is yung mga not divisible by 2, no? Yung numbers that divisible by 2. But when we say odds with S, no? It is the your ratio, no? Your ratio na posibleng mangyari or mag-occur sa isang event.